I walked through the front door after another long day at the construction site, my work boots heavy on the hardwood floor. The smell of takeout Chinese food hit me first, which was unusual since my wife typically cooked during the week. "Honey, you're home." Perfect timing. Her voice was unusually cheerful, almost giddy. I found her at the kitchen table with her laptop open, papers scattered around like she'd been working on some kind of project all day. "Hey, how was your day?" I asked, setting my hard hat on the counter and washing the dust off my hands. "Actually, I have incredible news. Sit down, you're going to love this." She patted the chair next to her, practically bouncing with excitement. Something in her tone made my stomach tighten, but I sat down anyway. "Okay, what's going on?" "I quit my job today." The words hung in the air for a moment. I stared at her, waiting for the punchline or some context that would make this make sense. "You what?" "I resigned. Gave my notice this morning." "Well, technically it was immediate, but who cares about 2 weeks when you're starting a new chapter of your life?" My mind was racing. Her job at the marketing firm paid $85,000 a year. We'd been married 7 months, still figuring out our shared finances, still paying off wedding debt. "Wait, slow down. You quit without talking to me first. I knew you'd be supportive. That's why I love you." She turned her laptop toward me. "Look, I made a spreadsheet of everything. I've thought this through completely." The screen showed a detailed budget breakdown. Monthly expenses: rent $1,800, car payment $420, insurance $280, groceries $600, utilities $300, gym membership $120, and at the bottom, highlighted in yellow, self-discovery budget, $680. What exactly is a self-discovery budget? Well, I'll need money for courses, books, maybe some traveling to find myself. I'm thinking about life coaching certification, or maybe pottery classes, or perhaps writing a novel. The possibilities are endless when you're not trapped in corporate slavery. I rubbed my temples, trying to process this. "So let me get this straight. You quit your job, and now you want me to cover. What does this add up to?" "Only $4,200 a month. It's actually quite reasonable when you think about it." "Reasonable?" My voice came out sharper than intended. "That's more than I make take home. But we're married now. Your money is our money. This is what partners do. They support each other's dreams and growth." I looked at her beaming face, then back at the spreadsheet. 7 months married, and she'd just made a decision that would fundamentally change our entire financial situation without even mentioning it to me first. I need to understand this better. When exactly did you decide this was a good idea? I've been feeling unfulfilled for months. That job was sucking my soul dry. I'm meant for something greater, something that feeds my spirit. Don't you want me to be happy? Of course I want you to be happy, but we have responsibilities. We have bills, we're still paying off the wedding, and now you want me to cover over $4,000 a month while you find yourself. Her expression shifted slightly. I thought you'd be more supportive. This is about my personal growth and finding my true calling in life. And what exactly is your true calling? I don't know yet. That's the whole point. I need time and space to explore without the pressure of a soul-crushing 9-to-5 job. I stood up and walked to the window, looking out at our neighborhood. When we'd moved in together, we'd calculated our budget based on both our incomes. Her salary covered most of the rent and her personal expenses. My income from construction covered utilities, groceries, and my truck payment. So your plan is for me to work construction while you explore pottery and life coaching? When you say it like that, you make it sound selfish. I turned back to face her. How would you say it? I'd say I'm brave enough to pursue my passion instead of wasting my life in a cubicle. And I'd say my husband should be proud that his wife has the courage to follow her dreams. The confidence in her voice was something else. Like she'd already decided this was happening and my opinion was just a formality. We've been married 7 months. 7. And you made this decision completely on your own. I made this decision for us. For our future. Do you want to be married to someone who's miserable and unfulfilled? I sat back down and looked at her spreadsheet again. Under the self-discovery budget, she'd itemized things like vision board supplies, $30, monthly tarot readings, $150, and inspirational retreat weekend, $500. This isn't going to work. Her face immediately changed. What do you mean it's not going to work? I mean exactly what I said. You need to find employment. But we're married. Your money is our money. This is what partners do. There it was. The expectation laid bare. 7 months of marriage, and somehow I'd become solely responsible for funding her journey of self-discovery. No, this is what you've decided partners do, without consulting your partner. The argument that followed was unlike anything we'd had before. She pulled out her phone and showed me screenshots of articles about supporting your spouse's career transition and investing in your partner's potential. Look, I even researched this. Successful couples make sacrifices for each other's growth. Growth? You haven't even figured out what you want to grow into yet. That's the beauty of it. I'm keeping my options open. I already canceled my health insurance through work and enrolled in yours. I also put a deposit down for a life coaching certification course that starts next month. My jaw dropped. You did what? When? Last week. It's only $3,200 for the full program. I used my savings account. She said this like she was telling me about buying groceries. Your savings account that was supposed to be for emergencies? This is an emergency of the soul. I was dying a slow death in that office, filing reports that nobody reads and sitting through meetings about meetings. I walked to the refrigerator and grabbed a beer, needing a moment to process what I was hearing. So let me make sure I understand this timeline. Last week, you spent your emergency fund on a coaching course. This week, you quit your job and enrolled in my health insurance. And now you're asking me to cover over $4,000 a month while you figure out your life purpose. I'm not asking. I'm informing you of our new household budget. The casual way she said it stopped me cold. Our new household budget. We're a team now. When one person levels up, we both benefit. Think of it as an investment. An investment in what exactly? In me. In my potential. In our future together. She was getting animated again, like she was selling me a timeshare. I've already started a vision board. Want to see? Before I could answer, she ran to our bedroom and came back with a poster board covered in magazine cutouts. Pictures of women doing yoga on beaches, luxury cars, expensive jewelry, and houses that cost more than I'd make in 5 years. This represents the abundant life we're going to create together once I unlock my true potential. I stared at the vision board. There was a picture of a woman getting a massage with the caption "Self-care is not selfish" pasted next to an image of a private jet. And how exactly is my construction salary supposed to fund this abundant life? You're thinking too small. Once I complete my transformation and start my coaching business, I'll be making 6 figures helping other people break free from their limiting beliefs. What coaching business? The one I'm going to start. I haven't worked out all the details yet, but I have a natural gift for helping people see their potential. My friend Hadley says I should charge premium rates because I have such a unique perspective on life. Hadley from your old book club? Former book club. I've evolved beyond that energy. Hadley's been doing life coaching for 3 months now, and she's already made like $400. I set down my beer and really looked at my wife. 7 months ago, she'd been excited about her marketing job, talking about quarterly projections and client strategies. Now she was planning to become a life coach based on a friend who'd made $400 in 3 months. What about our mortgage discussions? We talked about maybe buying a house in 2 years when we'd saved enough for a down payment. Houses are just material possessions. True wealth comes from personal fulfillment and spiritual alignment. Spiritual alignment doesn't pay rent. She crossed her arms and gave me a look I'd never seen before. I'm disappointed in your reaction. I expected more support from my husband. Support? You made a unilateral decision that affects our entire future without consulting me. That's not how marriage works. This is exactly how marriage works. When I was single, I had to make all my decisions alone. Now I have a partner who's supposed to have my back. That's the whole point of getting married. The logical leap was staggering. Somehow in her mind, marriage meant she could make whatever choices she wanted and I'd automatically be responsible for the consequences. Having your back doesn't mean I automatically fund whatever you decide to do. So you want me to go back to that toxic work environment? You want me to sacrifice my mental health for a paycheck? I want you to act like an adult who's married and has financial responsibilities. Her face flushed red. I am acting like an adult. Adults follow their passions instead of settling for mediocrity. Adults also communicate with their spouses before making life-changing decisions. She was quiet for a moment. Then her expression shifted to something that looked almost pitying. I can see you're not ready to embrace this mindset shift. That's okay. Change is scary for some people, but I'm moving forward with or without your emotional support. That weekend, while she was at a manifestation workshop, I decided to get a clearer picture of our finances. What I discovered made my blood pressure spike. Our joint checking account, which we'd opened after the wedding, was nearly empty. The $2,800 we'd had in there a month ago was down to $340. When I pulled up the transaction history, I found charges I didn't recognize. Enlightenment Essentials, $480. Crystal Harmony Studio, $220. Transform Your Life Seminar, $650. I grabbed our laptop and logged into her personal accounts. What I found was worse than I'd imagined. Her savings account, which had $8,500 3 months ago, was completely drained. The transactions showed a pattern: life coaching course deposit, several payments to something called Spiritual Awakening Intensive, multiple purchases from websites selling crystals, essential oils, and self-help programs. There was a text thread on her phone she'd left open. Messages with her friend Aurora from 2 months ago. Aurora, girl, you need to train him early. My husband fought me on the career change thing too, but I wore him down. My wife, how long did it take? Aurora, like 6 months. I started small, just asked him to cover my car payment while I transitioned, then gradually added more expenses. Now he pays for everything while I build my wellness empire. My wife, that's genius. I should start planting seeds now. Aurora, exactly. Make it seem like it's for both of you. Talk about our future and investing in our happiness. Men eat that up. I scrolled further back and found more gems. My wife. I'm thinking of just quitting without telling him and presenting it as a done deal. Easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, right? Aurora, bold move. I respect it. He'll have no choice but to step up and be supportive. My wife. I already canceled my health insurance and signed up for his. He doesn't know yet. There were dozens of these messages, dating back almost to our wedding day. Plans to manipulate me into becoming her personal ATM, strategies for emotional manipulation. Screenshots of articles about making your husband the provider while you pursue your passion. The most recent message was from yesterday. Phase 1 complete. He's not happy, but he can't exactly kick me out. Now I just need to hold firm until he accepts the new normal. I sat there staring at my phone screen, feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach. This wasn't a sudden decision or a quarter-life crisis. This was a calculated con job, and I was the mark. The front door opened and she walked in, carrying a sage smudge stick and wearing a new crystal necklace that probably cost more than my work boots. How was your day, babe? Did you do anything fun? She was back to her cheerful act. Productive. I spent some time going through our finances. Her smile flickered for just a second. Oh, find anything interesting? Yeah, actually. I found it interesting that you've been planning this for months. I found it interesting that you've spent over $10,000 preparing for your spiritual journey without mentioning it. And I found it fascinating that Aurora seems to think manipulating husbands is some kind of art form. The color drained from her face. You went through my phone. You left it open on the counter. But that's your response. Not, I can explain, or, I'm sorry you found out that way. Just anger that I discovered your plan. She set down her sage and crossed her arms defensively. Those messages are taken out of context. What context makes train him early sound better? We were just venting. Women talk about relationship challenges. That's normal. Relationship challenges? You were plotting to financially manipulate me before we'd been married 6 months. I wasn't plotting anything. I was working through my feelings about wanting to leave my job. I pulled up the messages on my phone and read them back to her word for word. With each text, her defense got weaker and her voice got shriller. You're making this sound worse than it is. Am I? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you married me to have a financial safety net while you play entrepreneur with crystals and life coaching. That's not true. I love you. You love the financial security I represent. There's a difference. She started crying, which I'd seen her do before when she wanted to avoid accountability. How can you say that? After everything we've built together? What have we built? We've been married 7 months, and you've spent that entire time planning how to quit your job and stick me with the bills. I was unhappy. I was trying to find a way to be fulfilled while still being a good wife. A good wife who lies, manipulates, and makes unilateral decisions that affect both our lives. The tears stopped as quickly as they'd started, replaced by a look I was beginning to recognize as her true personality breaking through the act. Fine. You want to know the truth? Yes, I planned this. Yes, I expected you to support me. That's what marriage is. I didn't marry you to struggle financially. I married you to build a better life, and that includes having the freedom to pursue my passions. There it was. The mask was finally off. The honesty was almost refreshing. Finally, no more pretense about spiritual journeys and finding herself. She married me to be her personal bank account. So what happens now? I asked. Now we move forward as a team. I'll pursue my coaching business and you'll handle the traditional provider role. It's a classic arrangement that's worked for centuries. Except in classic arrangements, people discussed it before getting married. We're discussing it now. No, you're informing me of what you've already decided. Just like you informed me about quitting your job and spending our savings. She sat down at the kitchen table and pulled out a notebook. Look, I've been thinking about this practically too. I calculated that if you work some weekend overtime, maybe pick up a side job, we can make this work financially. The audacity was breathtaking. You want me to work more jobs to fund your life coaching dreams? It's temporary. Once my business takes off, I'll be making more than I ever did at that marketing job. Hadley knows a woman who made $15,000 last month just from online coaching sessions. Hadley also told you that you made $400 in 3 months, which breaks down to about $1.30 an hour. That's because she was still learning. I have natural talent for this. I've already helped 3 people just this week with their limiting beliefs. Help them with what? Basic life guidance. Like when Aurora was stressed about her credit card debt, I told her debt is just negative energy and she needs to manifest abundance instead of focusing on lack. I stared at her. Aurora has credit card debt, and you told her to manifest her way out of it? The law of attraction is a proven principle. What you focus on expands. What expands is interest rates when you ignore credit card payments. See, this is exactly the kind of scarcity mindset that's keeping you stuck. I'm trying to elevate both of us, but you're trapped in old paradigms about money. I walked to our bedroom and grabbed the suitcase from under the bed. When I came back to the living room, she was lighting a candle. What are you doing with that suitcase? You have 2 weeks. 2 weeks for what? To find a job. Any job. If you're not employed by Friday 2 weeks from now, this marriage is over. She laughed. Actually laughed. You're not serious. I'm completely serious. You can't give me an ultimatum. We're married. You can't just kick me out. Watch me. This is insane. You're throwing away our marriage because I wanted to follow my dreams. I'm ending this marriage because you lied to me for months, manipulated me, spent our savings without my knowledge, and expect me to fund your fantasies while you contribute nothing. The candle flickered as she stood up, her face cycling through shock, anger, and something that looked like panic. I'll call your mother. I'll call my parents. Everyone will know how unsupportive you're being. Go ahead. Tell them you quit your job without consulting your husband and expected him to cover $4,200 a month in expenses while you take pottery classes. I'll tell them you gave me an ultimatum and threatened divorce because I wanted to better myself. Make sure you tell them the whole story, including the part where you've been planning this manipulation since our honeymoon. She grabbed her phone and immediately started dialing. I could hear her mother's voice when she answered. Mom, I need to talk to you about something terrible that's happening. I went to the kitchen and started making dinner while she had her conversation in the living room. I could hear fragments. Unsupportive, threatened to throw me out, trying to follow my passion, and doesn't understand modern marriage. After 20 minutes, she came back to the kitchen looking smug. My mother agrees that you're being unreasonable. She said successful marriages require compromise and investment in each other's growth. What did you tell her about spending our savings without my knowledge? I told her we used our savings to invest in my education, which is the truth. Did you tell her you've been planning this manipulation for months? I told her I've been working up the courage to leave a toxic job situation and that my husband should be supporting that transition. And did you tell her you expect me to work overtime and side jobs to fund your vision board fantasies? Her confidence wavered slightly. I told her we're adjusting our budget to accommodate my career change. Right. So you told her a version of the truth that makes you look good and me look bad. I told her facts. You told her selected facts. There's a difference. My phone started buzzing with texts. Her sister Megan, can you call me? Really worried about you guys. Her mother, I think you need to be more understanding of your wife's needs. Even Aurora, heard you're having marital issues. Happy to chat about compromise. I showed her my phone. Let me guess, You've activated the entire support network. People who care about me are naturally concerned when they hear my husband is threatening our marriage over money. 2 weeks, I repeated. Find a job or find a divorce attorney. Instead of job hunting, she doubled down. The next morning, I woke up to find business cards scattered across our kitchen table. Esther Roberts, Life Transformation Coach, in flowing script with a lotus flower logo. I ordered 1,000 of these. Professional presentation is crucial for premium pricing. You ordered business cards instead of applying for jobs? I'm building my coaching practice. Why would I apply for soul-crushing corporate jobs when I'm launching my own business? Because you have 11 days left before I file for divorce. She waved her hand dismissively. You're not going to divorce me. You're just scared of change. That afternoon, while I was at work, she called my supervisor, Leopold Malone. Your wife called, Leopold said when he found me on the job site. She wanted to discuss your work schedule. My stomach dropped. What did she say? Asked if we had weekend shifts available and whether we pay overtime for Saturday work. Said you guys were saving for something special and could use the extra income. I'm sorry about that. She shouldn't have called your work number. No worries, but heads up, she also asked about our company's policy on short-term loans for employees. I felt heat rise up my neck. She asked about loans? Yeah, mentioned something about a business investment opportunity. I told her we don't do that kind of thing. When I got home, she was on the couch with her laptop, surrounded by printed articles about divorce laws. Learn anything interesting? I asked. Actually, yes. Did you know that in this state, I'm entitled to spousal support during divorce proceedings? And if we've been living as a single-income household, I could qualify for ongoing alimony. We haven't been living as a single-income household. You quit your job 8 days ago. But I can demonstrate financial dependence. I've already canceled my car insurance and added myself to your policy. I closed my personal checking account, and we've been using the joint account for all my expenses. The calculated nature of it was stunning. She wasn't just expecting me to fund her dreams. She was systematically creating a paper trail to support financial dependence claims in divorce court. You've been busy. I've been strategic. I also talked to an attorney this morning, Stephen Stark. He specializes in protecting women's rights in divorce proceedings. You hired a divorce attorney? Consultation only, but he was very encouraging about my position. Apparently, sudden abandonment of financial support obligations can be considered marital misconduct. I sat down across from her. So your plan is to force me to pay for your life coaching business by threatening legal action? My plan is to save our marriage by helping you understand your responsibilities as a husband. And if I don't accept those responsibilities, then you'll learn about them through the court system. Stephen says I have a strong case for temporary and permanent alimony, especially since you've been the higher earner during our marriage. I've been the higher earner for 8 days. The trend is established. My phone rang. Clayton Roberts from my wife's former workplace. Hey, this is probably weird, but I thought you should know. Your wife didn't resign from her position here. What do you mean she didn't resign? She was terminated last Friday for falsifying her timesheet and using company resources for personal business. The room felt like it was spinning. Falsifying timesheets. She'd been leaving early and marking full days, using our conference rooms for personal video calls, and charging personal purchases to her company credit card. HR had been building a case for months. I looked at my wife, who was pretending to read her legal documents, but obviously listening to every word. Thanks for letting me know, Clayton. There's more. She applied for unemployment benefits and listed laid off due to downsizing as the reason for termination. That's fraud. She wasn't laid off and there was no downsizing. After I hung up, she finally looked at me. I can explain that. You were fired for stealing from your company. I wasn't stealing. I borrowed the conference room a few times for important calls, and sometimes I left early when my work was finished. The timesheet thing is a technicality. You committed fraud at your job and with unemployment benefits. Those are just corporate policies designed to control employees. I was being efficient with my time management. And the company credit card? I bought lunch a few times when I was working late. It's normal business practice. Clayton said you charged crystals and a yoga mat to your company card. Those were wellness investments for productivity enhancement. The lies just kept coming, each one more absurd than the last. She hadn't quit to pursue her dreams, She'd been fired for stealing and was now trying to scam unemployment benefits while simultaneously planning to take me for alimony. You've been lying about everything. I've been protecting myself in a hostile work environment, and now I'm protecting myself in a hostile marriage environment. You fraud. You're a con artist. I'm an entrepreneur who thinks outside traditional limitations. I stood up and grabbed my car keys. I'm going to my brother's house. Running away won't solve anything. Neither will living with a criminal. I'm not a criminal. I'm your wife. You're both. And in 3 days, you'll just be a criminal. I spent 2 days at my brother's house, during which time she blew up my phone with alternating threats and apologies. Voice messages ranged from, "I'm calling my lawyer," to, "I love you and we can work this out," to, "You'll regret abandoning your wife when she needed you most." On Thursday morning, I came home to find the locks changed. I called a locksmith and had them replaced within an hour. When I walked inside, she was gone, but she'd left a note on the kitchen table. "Since you've chosen to abandon our marriage, I've moved in with Aurora temporarily. My attorney will be in contact about dividing our assets and establishing spousal support. This could have been handled amicably, but you chose conflict. Namaste." She'd also taken every piece of furniture we'd bought together, my coffee maker, and somehow even the shower curtain. What she'd left behind was all the bills, utilities, rent, her car payment, and a credit card statement showing $8,400 in charges I'd never seen before. Friday afternoon, I got a call from Stephen Stark. "This is regarding the dissolution of marriage proceedings between you and your wife. She's authorized me to present a settlement offer." I'm listening. She's requesting $2,200 monthly in temporary spousal support while divorce proceedings are pending, plus $1,800 monthly in permanent alimony for 5 years post-divorce. She's also claiming 50% of all marital assets, including your truck and any retirement savings. What's she offering in return? She'll waive her claim to the apartment lease and agree to an expedited divorce timeline. I almost laughed. Counteroffer. She gets nothing and pays her own attorney fees. That's not realistic given her financial circumstances. Her financial circumstances are the result of committing fraud at her workplace and spending our savings on crystals and life coaching courses. I'm not sure what you're implying, but I'm stating facts. She was terminated for theft and falsified her unemployment claim. I have documentation. There was a pause. I'll need to discuss this with my client. Monday morning, I filed for divorce myself, citing fraud and abandonment. I included copies of her text messages with Aurora, documentation from her former employer about the termination, and bank records showing how she drained our accounts without my knowledge. Tuesday, Stephen Stark called back. "My client is willing to accept a no alimony settlement in exchange for expedited processing. What about her claims to my truck and retirement savings? She'll waive those claims as well. And her attorney fees? She'll handle those independently." The divorce was finalized within 6 weeks. She got nothing except the bill for her legal consultation and the knowledge that unemployment fraud is a felony that can result in prosecution. 3 months later, I ran into Clayton at a hardware store. "How's life post-divorce?" he asked. "Peaceful. Expensive lesson, but worth it. Well, you'll appreciate this. Your ex-wife applied for a job with us again last month." Seriously? Used a different name on the application and claimed she'd never worked for our company before. HR flagged it immediately since she's still on our do not rehire list. What's she doing now? Last I heard, she was working part-time at a cell phone store and living with 3 roommates. Aurora kicked her out after she couldn't pay rent and tried to charge her utilities to Aurora's credit card. I shook my head. Some people never learn. Actually, there's more. She's being investigated by the state for unemployment fraud. Turns out she filed claims in 2 different states using slightly different personal information. 6 months after the divorce, I got a text from an unknown number. "I know I hurt you, and I'm sorry. I've learned a lot about myself, and I'd like to talk about giving us another chance." I deleted it without responding. A year later, I'm remarried to a woman who works as a nurse, pays her own bills, and discusses major decisions before making them. We split expenses proportionally based on our incomes. We both contribute to savings, and neither of us owns a single crystal or vision board. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd been the type of person to enable her manipulation. How many years I might have spent working extra jobs to fund her delusions while she contributed nothing but emotional blackmail and legal threats. The best decisions aren't always the easiest ones, but they're always the most honest ones. I chose honesty over harmony, and it saved my life.